Today, we're going to talk about arguably the most chaotic, unpredictable, and exciting sporting event held every year. A 64-team tournament featuring colleges ranging from powerhouses to bubble teams hoping to go on a Cinderella run. Of course, I'm referring to the NCAA baseball tournament. Despite not having an alliterative nickname, this tournament easily surpasses March Madness in terms of parity and mayhem when it comes to crowning a national champion. Aside from the basketball play-in games, the two tournaments have an almost identical setup. March Madness has 4 regions with teams seeded 1 through 16, whereas the baseball tournament kind of funhouse mirrors that, with 16 regions of teams seeded 1 through 4. All the 1 seeds in those regionals are ordered 1 through 16, so each of them has a direct basketball equivalent. As for the rest, the best we can do is group them into buckets when comparing them. A baseball 2 seed would be anywhere from a 5 to an 8 seed in basketball. 3 seeds could be anywhere in the 9 to 12 range, with 4 seeds being your 13 to 16 seeds. Now, while March Madness is guaranteed to have some major upsets in the early rounds, once you get to the end, you're pretty well off just betting on the top teams. 6 of the last 7 tournaments have been won by a 1 seed. And among the last 35 national championships, only 1 has been claimed by a team seeded lower than 4th, the cutoff for our baseball 1 seeds. The lowest seeded team to ever win March Madness was 8-seeded Villanova back in 1985. That's the equivalent of one of the weakest 2 seeds in the baseball regionals. The current format of the NCAA baseball tournament has been played 24 times, and in that span, we've had a 3 seed win the national championship. 3 times. In 2008, Fresno State even won a national championship as a 4 seed. A March Madness team seeded that low has never even made the Final Four. This means that, on average, we see a team win the College World Series from a lower seed than has ever won March Madness just once every 6 years.
Anarchy! I don't even know what that means, but I love it!
That brings us to the title of this video and the very important asterisk at the end of it. How difficult a tournament is to win is completely relative. A mid-major automatic qualifier might look at everything I've said so far and think, wow, the College World Series looks way easier to win. And they'd be right. However, if the championship odds for the bottom teams are higher, that means the odds for the top teams have to come down. That's just math. A lot of this parity is simply due to the nature of baseball. It's a sport with razor-thin margins and the predictability of a Mike Leach interview.
See, I'm going to get my grandkids one of these things.
The MLB team with the best regular season of the last 100 years only won 71% of their games. That's like an NFL team going 12-5. So that means there's already not much separating the best teams from everyone else in terms of likelihood of winning a particular game, but there's also not much separating those top teams from themselves. Once you get into those top 8 seeds on a neutral field, would you really be that surprised regardless of who came out on top? Barring something like injuries preventing a team from playing at the level that earned them that seed, I wouldn't expect the probability of any of those teams winning to differ by more than just a few percent. That brings us to the second part of this video's title, the dreaded 1-seed curse. In the very first of the 24 NCAA baseball tournaments under the current format, the top-seeded Miami Hurricanes took home the national championship. No number 1 overall seed has done it since. 23 straight tournaments where the regular season's best team failed to take home the trophy. It seems like every year the looming darkness of being named the top overall seed grows even larger, to the point where fans actually don't want their teams to win at a level where they might get tagged with this jinx. It's gotten so bad that when predicting national champions, a lot of people automatically write off the 1 seed as a possibility. But I think it's worth investigating this curse a little closer. In 24 tournaments, the 1 seeds have just 1 championship. Not great, but only 3 individual seed lines have more. The 2 seeds, the 3 seeds, and the 5 seeds have all won 3. Now, you might be saying, well, yeah, the 1 seeds have one title, but the order matters. They won the first one and then have since gone on such a long drought. And that's true, but let's look at the 2 seeds. They've won 3 titles, but when did they win them? Well, we talked about Miami's win in 1999, but that was followed by 2nd-seeded LSU. And then the next year, Miami won another title, this time also as a 2 seed. We then went 18 seasons before we saw another 2 seed win it all. Let's time travel back to 2019. Were the 2 seeds cursed? They hadn't won a national championship in nearly 2 decades. The 1 seeds hit that mark just the year prior, and people were already talking about their drought. At the end of the day, fans are worried about the curse because it means their team is less likely to win a national championship, right? Well, number 1 national seeds have the same number of titles as number 4 national seeds, as well as number 7 national seeds. But I know that a ton of fans would feel great relief to see their team fall from number 1 to number 4 going into the tournament. No curse for us, even though historically they're not any better off. In fact, under the current format, no 6 seed or 8 seed has ever won the College World Series. Where's their curse? The thing is, curse or no curse, the odds of the top overall seed winning a given tournament are low. But so are the odds of any one team winning it. So personally, I don't think the results we've seen so far are significant enough to support any claim that 1 seeds have a lower chance of winning the title than anyone else. Even if 1 seeds have a higher chance of winning it all than anybody else, a sample with this kind of distribution would still be expected to occur from time to time. If you had a coin that you kept flipping for long enough, you're going to have a stretch where you get 10 heads in a row. Or how about a dice roll? Say if you roll a 6, you win the College World Series, and anything less means you were eliminated. Rolling 24 dice to represent 24 years, the first group only claimed 1 title. The second group had 5. Same odds going into it, vastly different results. No curses required. Some popular explanations for this phenomenon are that some teams may buckle under the pressure of being the number 1 overall seed, or that having that target on your back might bring out the best in everybody that you play. Now, I don't think those are totally unreasonable things to consider, but this is the tournament here. Everyone's seasons are on the line. National championships are at stake. Are we really going to act like teams aren't playing the number 2 team in the country with the same fight as they are with the number 1 team? And as far as folding under pressure, it's probably happened at least once, but I don't really buy that that's the leading cause for this drought. I mean, as we talked about with the probabilities, it doesn't really need to be in order to explain what we've seen. We went a long time without seeing a 16 seed upset a 1 seed in March Madness. A lot of people probably thought it would never happen, but the next thing you know, we've seen it twice in 5 years. A number 1 national seed will win the College World Series again. It probably won't be this year, but honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if it is. I mean, I think I would give Tennessee better odds than anyone else in the field this year. But despite that, they probably won't win it. Just like Kentucky probably won't win it. Arkansas probably won't win it. You could say the same thing for every other team playing. But someone will. But it won't be Ole Miss. They didn't make the tournament. So, no Ole Miss this year. Okay, thanks. Bye.